Hey, it's Peter Gregg, Miami, Florida. Welcome to the Christmas Room.
Sit back, relax. You are about to watch a Peter Gregg video. Something warm, human, and wonderful happens when you watch Peter Gregg.
So I was just about ready to pack up the 80D. But this is not an 80D. This is an M50. And I got to thinking, you know what? This is basically an 80D shrunk down. Like, honey, I shrunk the 80D? So what is the difference? What are you going to lose out by getting the 80D? First, the larger camera. If you specifically like the bigger cameras, then you're going to like the 80D. Here's a GH4 right here. And the GH4 is a little bit smaller than the 80D. And look at the size difference right there. It's still quite a bit of a difference. So people can go for the M50 because they like a smaller camera. So what else are you going to give up? You know what else you're going to give up? The 80D can go to a 1/8,000th of a second shutter speed, where this has got a limitation to 1/4,000th of a second. Is that a big deal for you? If it's not a big deal for you, then you don't care. You can get the smaller camera. This almost, well, not almost, this basically can fit in a cargo pants or pants pocket, certainly not in a shirt pocket. Okay, I just knocked you all out, right, with hitting the microphone. It's not environmentally sealed like the 80D is. There's no headphone jack, but there's an earphone jack. So you can put an external microphone on here. I thought I had one around here. Is it hiding on me? Yes, it is, because it is right here. This is a Rode Stereo Video Pro. So it's the Video Pro, but instead of it being a shotgun, it's a stereo, which I like that open air sound. You could put that on, or you could use the mics directly that's built into the camera, which are not bad. It's surprisingly not bad. So they're getting better and better at this. Where's my list? I have a list here that tells me the battery life is shorter on this because the battery is smaller. Look at the size of the battery. It's not here, it's in my charger. So the battery is small because it makes the whole thing small. So you're going to expect a shorter battery life, but if that doesn't bother you, buy a few extra batteries and you're doing very good. So that's basically it. Environmental sealing, headphone, doesn't have it. The battery life is shorter, and the maximum shutter speed, which is 1/8,000th of a second on the 80D, 1/4,000th of a second, if you can even comprehend that. It's kind of weird, right? On the M50. So when I say, honey, I shrunk the 80D, it's not that far off. Now, is there any advantages to this? Yep, I printed that out too, lest you happen to have asked. The maximum ISO on this is a little bit higher. Now, don't forget, it's got the same APS-C size sensor in here that's the same size sensor in the 80D. So the sensor sizes are the same, and even the megapixels, 24 megapixels. So this camera will go to 25,600 ISO, which is not bad, right? And the 80D will only go to 16,000. This also has 143 focus points, where the 80D has 45 focus points. This is 3 frames per second faster. It's 10 frames per second versus the 80D, which is 10 minus 3, 7. I just wanted to see if you knew. Yeah, right. I was doing the math in my head really quick. The price. You can get this for $629 without a lens now, and $999 without a lens on the 80D. So you could save almost $300, just a little under $300. All right, and the maximum resolution. This has 4K. The 80D doesn't give it to you. Okay, it doesn't have great 4K. Actually, it's not bad. It's not as useful. They turn off the dual pixel focus, and that's the problem. And then they also crop it stronger, and that also is the problem. But you can get 4K if you need it, and you can't do it on the 80D. And then the last thing that's on here is that this has Bluetooth connectivity, and the 80D does not. So basically, I'm going to pack it up and send it back. It's an intriguing camera. I might be tempted to check the white one out, because a lot of times you want to be different, so you get a white one. So this camera overall surprised me. because I was expecting not to like it because Canon spent so much time crippling it in so many areas that I had a preconceived notion like I'm not going to like this camera. And lo and behold, when I first got it in and I put on the kit lens, I said, oh my gosh, this is El Succo Village. Okay, I mean, this is not good at all. I was just checking to see where you were. I didn't know where he went. But he's where he belongs. So here's some of the key points. How to make this camera sing. Make it beautiful for you. Don't get it with the kit lens, although there's an advantage to getting it with the kit lens. With the kit lens, it's got a price reduction right now, which it might go back up, so you got to be sensitive to the time that's involved. With the kit lens, it's $6.99 for basically a shrunk down 80D with even more advantages to this over the 80D. So, but this kit lens gave me a very sour taste, and I said to myself, no, this is really no good. But take off the kit lens, okay? And if you buy it, one of the reasons that you would buy it is so that when you resell it, you could resell it with a lens. That would be a major reason to buy it with the kit lens. But it's on sale right now, let's see, $6.29 with no lens at all. So you would get the camera body alone. Now, this gives you an advantage because you could buy this lens, which fluctuates between $199, $229, and $249, depending on whatever mood I guess the sellers are or how many they have in stock. But it takes this camera and makes it really, really wonderful, but there's no zoom. So you say to me, Peter, but I want a zoom. You know, can I have a zoom, please, pretty please? And I would say, yes, you can. This is an 11 to 22 zoom with an image stabilizer built into the lens. The f2 lens with the 22 millimeter does not have that. So this camera with this lens for low light and this lens is a really, really good deal price-wise. Now, the reason I'm going through this is like everybody is not the same. So everybody's like, Peter, talk about the Sony, talk about the Panasonic, talk about these $2,000 cameras. And you know, everybody can't afford that. So we have to have compassion and reach out and help the people that really want to get into photography and video and stuff like that and tell them what they can get. And that's what I'm doing. I sound like I'm yelling at myself. All right, so you can get this camera with this lens, and it'll bring it from $629 and $200 is $729, $829. And if you decide you want the zoom lens, this lens is regular listed at $400, and they'll go on sale every once in a while also. But you got another option, and that is buy it with this lens and then buy the adapter. And with this adapter, you can buy any Canon lenses that are on sale and put it right on this camera. So you can get this expensive $2,000 or $1,500 lens, or this Sigma lens, which is $800, 24 millimeters, and these are all Canon mount lenses, and they'll go right on here. There's no glass in this adapter. See, watch. Bing, my finger goes right through it. All it's got is the electrical contacts on this side and the electrical contacts on this side. I'm looking at it myself instead of showing it to you. So that allows you to put any of these wonderful little Canon lenses, and I'm just looking at what would be intriguing to you. This 50 millimeter lens is between $100 and $125. And this is designed to fit on the bigger 80D. But with this adapter, it will fit right on the M50. So Canon thinks that they really dumbed this down so that we don't get a lot. But in effect, Canon almost accidentally shot themselves in the foot by giving us a really good camera if you just know what buttons to push. Now, I'm not talking about the buttons on the camera. I'm talking about which way to order it and how to use it. And you get a more advanced camera with a newer Digic processor inside, and you get a very small camera. So it's like, I was expecting to come back and go like, you know, I'd pass this up and I'd get the SL2. You know, Lewis, I told you that you should keep your SL2. I'm beginning to change my mind. Lewis is one of you guys that made a comment, and I'm becoming friendlier and friendlier with the guy. He is typical of a younger guy that wants to get into cameras, wants something good, doesn't want to get caught with basically, you know, with your pants down like I bought the wrong camera, and then you get all agitated. And so that's why I'm taking one last video before I ship this back to tell you the pros of this camera. Can I recommend this camera? Yeah, honestly, I can recommend it. Do I recommend it over the 80D? You know, the little bit of problem that I have there is myself. It's not you. I'm in the habit from a kid that a camera is a camera, and this is a man's camera, and this is, to be nasty for a second, this is a girl's camera. But that's not the way it's turning out to be. It's turning out like I don't want to lug around such a big camera all the time. But I don't want to move to a smaller camera and not have the quality that I have in the bigger cameras. And this does the trick. It rings the bell. It raises the flag. All right, enough with the cliches. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is it's a good buy. You just got to know how to buy it. And then it becomes, in the car world, we call it a sleeper, when it's like you don't know what you really got in your hand. Because with this camera and this adapter, you've got the entire Canon line at your footsteps. So, right at your door, right there in front of you. So I'm giving it a thumbs up, which surprises me because I was really prepared to give it like pass on this one. Now, Canon is most likely going to build and come out with newer and newer models, because this year we got another big show coming up in September. So when that show comes up, Canon's going to want to come to the show with something in their bag, right? So my guess is they're going to take that 80D and turn it into a 90D, or create a completely new camera, or hey, why put a limit on it? Maybe they'll do both. And we'll get a 90D that's got a little bit more than this, and maybe a new camera at a higher price point. Let's go for the both, okay? Let's be positive today and say Canon's going to give us 2 new cameras, and then you'll have a lot of things to pick from. So that's it. I'm going to pack this up and send it back. And, you know, this is happening more often than not. I might be tempted to buy this camera because of the simplicity, because it's Canon with 4K in it, even though you're going to focus manually, but you got 4K. That's the big word here. You do have 4K. Yeah, it's crippled. The crap out of it is crippled, okay? But you got 4K. You know what? You got 4K. So that's what I'm trying to say. Everybody is poo-pooing the camera, but I have had a change of heart. I am not poo-pooing it. I think it's a great buy, especially if you're limited on funds and you just can't go out and buy these $2,000 cameras. I don't have one to pick up. And then buy another $1,000 lens. You could buy this for $629, get a $199, $229, or $250 depending on the mood. Lens on there. Even get it with the kit lens, so you got that lens. Let me speak English. I'm getting so excited. I'm talking over my own tongue. The lens quality is not very good. Okay, it's a kit lens. It does what it needs to do, but it's not going to give you the good juice that's capable of being had when you squeeze the oranges in here. All right. So that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you. Now I'm going to pack it up and send it back, but I wanted to get one more video, and I might even mount it and make another video out of it. Or not. I'm not going to commit myself. I basically sticking my foot in my mouth. All right, so Lewis, if you could still change the SL2 to this, do it. If you can't, don't cry, okay? You still have a good camera, nothing to be worried about. But if you can change it, change it. You guys that are limited on money, and you want to get in and you want to have your little fingers in every little pot, you want a little bit of 4K, you want dual pixel focus, you want the big boy lenses, and you want the little slim lenses, this covers it all. So thumbs up. Surprise. I'm surprised. All right, Peter Gregg, Miami, Florida. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Yes, subscribe. I'm asking. Subscribe. Bye-bye. Whoosh.
You have just watched another Peter Gregg video. Something warm, human, and wonderful happens when you watch Peter Gregg. Thank you for watching. Description of all equipment used in this video plus any notes Peter took while filming are always placed in the description box, show more box, or down arrow thingy next to the title on mobile apps. Duly noted.